Gregory from Tampa, Florida. Who are some quarterbacks you think could have a breakout year this year? Well, I got several of them here. Nico Iamaleava, because yes, we do believe in pronouncing college football players' names right on this college football show, is a 5-star talent that's worth every bit of headline space that's been dedicated to him. Remember Hendon Hooker a couple of years ago at Tennessee? Remember when Josh Heupel and company kind of rewrote the record books up there with him? Then you had the Joe Milton year. Was what it was. Not terrible, but not outstanding. This is the guy that's next in line for having one of those record book rewriting sort of seasons. Played against Iowa in the bowl game. And it's a bowl game because you can take from it what you want to, but Iowa's defense had season highs hung on them in that game. And that's Nico's, first start. I think it was his first start, wasn't it, Colin? So that's just a very, very small glimpse of what we could expect. And what it means to me is, okay, we got all the confidence in the world in him, and now we get an entire offseason worth of working under Josh Heupel. Develops quarterbacks as well as any of them. And so he is playing for the right guy. He's playing in the right system. So I'm looking at him. I'm looking down at LSU, at Garrett Nussmeier. He's been waiting, man. Garrett Nussmeier, he was from the class of 2021. He's been around forever. He played versus Wisconsin in LSU's bowl game, threw for nearly 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's got a chance to shine in this offense. And it would be a great story, too, because guys like Nussmeier, most of the time, if they committed one place in 2021 and it's 2024, they've bounced around 2 or 3 times. He's stuck it out. And now he's in line to be the starter for them. And they've got confidence in him. It's not like he's the best of a bunch of bad options. They've got confidence in him. He's a redshirt junior this year, 6'2", 205. So it's a veteran who doesn't have a lot of playing experience, if that makes sense. At Kansas State, how could you not be excited for our guy Avery Johnson? He's the reason Ohio State has a new quarterback. Will Howard saw him and said, I'm out. Big spark last year. Remember that Texas Tech game? Had like 19 touchdowns. He's an excellent athlete. And he has now a full year, just like I talked about with Nico, to develop, knowing he's the number one in that system of Chris Kleiman and the guys up there at Kansas State. And I am very much looking forward. He can run the ball. I'm looking forward to what they can make him into as a passer. Kansas State could be a fun team to watch because of him this upcoming year. Now, you've probably heard of most of those names, but the next name, have you heard of him? Lenor SR. Anyone? Has anyone heard? I know you guys in Columbia have. I mentioned him last summer. I said, hey, Spencer Rattler's going to be the starter for South Carolina this fall, but they got a kid named Lenor SR, and they know they hit a home run on him. And now it may be his time. I know Ashford transferred up there, but I think it's probably Lenor SR's team this fall. I look at him, and Shane Beamer looks at him, and his staff looks at him, and they say, all right, that's our guy. We got to build around him. They brought in, I think, 3 receivers out of the portal. And also, remember now, you can do stuff post-spring in the portal. So I think there's a world where there's a certain amount of buzz and hype that starts to build around Lenor SR in Columbia, and then you sell that after spring. Say, hey, I know other guys are telling you we've got a question at the quarterback position, but you hear that? You hear that drum beat? That's the quarterback you could come play with. Wouldn't shock me if that happened. And he's a big boy, man, 6'3", 240, former 3-star guy. But like I said, as soon as they got him on campus, they were really in love with him, knew they had something with him, and I think they're right. What about USC? What about Lincoln Riley? Lincoln Riley and quarterback. That's the locked hand-in-hand emoji there. And Miller Moss is his guy now. Miller Moss had 6 touchdowns in the bowl game against Louisville, 372 yards. He is, yet again, a reason why Ohio State probably has a transfer quarterback, at least one named Will Howard, because it looked like Howard was headed to USC. And then this bowl game happens. And Lincoln Riley himself said in the postgame, Miller Moss probably played too good for us to get any other transfer quarterback now. And that's a system where they'll lean on their quarterback because that's a system where they'll probably have to score a lot of points this year. And he's a former 4-star. He's number 15 quarterback a few cycles back. Miller Moss should have a breakout year this fall. And it should probably just build above and beyond on what he did in that bowl game. And Jackson Arnold, very easy answer. I saved him for last because this is the most slam dunk answer. Former 5-star guy, former Elite 11 MVP at Oklahoma. He played in their bowl game. Everyone's been waiting on this. This is Brent Venables' quarterback. So good that Dylan Gabriel started at UCF, started at Oklahoma. He looked at Jackson Arnold and said, yeah, I'm leaving. And it's not like he faded away. Dylan Gabriel transferred to Oregon and will be probably the starting quarterback at Oregon this upcoming year. Jackson Arnold was good enough to chase him away. And he is a guy who will have a good defense to play with. Offensive line, probably a question right now, but that will be a team that is built in a very complementary fashion to where you don't have to look at him and say, all right, go hang 45 for us so we can have a chance to win today. So those are some of the names I'm looking at. You can circle any other names you want to.